VVD தமிழர்களின் பாரம்பரியமிக்க VVD hair oil nature's gift பொன்வண்டு 50 years of expertise in detergent பொன்வண்டு matic detergent powder.
Bollywood lobby and Bollywood mafia, they are synonyms for each other because Bollywood has been closely connected with underworld. The problem is that Bollywood wants to not support the investigation in Sushant Singh Rajput's death. That is very sad because none of the big superstars ever voiced their concern about an investigation in Sushant Singh Rajput. Rhea, obviously the manipulator, the gold digger, needs to be punished. I think even a prostitute has more ethics than what she has. Prostitute charges money and sleeps with you, but Rhea has actually administered, drugs which have made him incapable of thinking, and she has done all this. No girl has the right to pull a man away from his family using her sexual powers or whatever it is. Who implanted Rhea in Sushant's life? That's a very important question. Who are the people behind her? Who's the gang behind her? Because she obviously seems to be having connections and soft corner with a lot of important people in Bollywood. The way Mumbai police head Param Singh Dhaiya was saying that the CCTV footage has been obtained by them, but then earlier the version was that there was no CCTV footage obtained on 13th and 14th of June. So there are a lot of discrepancies in the versions that have been let out by media to the general public regarding Sushant's death. A Sonam Kapoor and a Kareena Kapoor will promote rape in a Devi Sthan because they need to promote their film Veere De Wedding. So they do politics over the death of a 6-year-old, but they don't want to talk about on the death of their co-actor, that is Sushant Singh Rajput, because it does not serve their purpose or they don't have a film in release. And Salman Khan, do farming during COVID times, but not talk about Sushant Singh Rajput shows that they are inhuman people and the most hypocritical lot.
Hi, Ms. Payal. Nice to meet you here.
Namaste, Agni ji. Nice to meet you here too. Namaste.
Like many others across the globe, you also wanted Dil Bechara to be a big success. Now the film has released in OTT and it is one of the most watched film on OTT. So how do you feel about the response that the film has been getting?
I'm very overwhelmed and happy that Sushant's last film has got a great response. It's one of the most highest watched films on the OTT platform because it was due to him when he was alive. It's really sad that he got his due when he's no more. He cannot see the success of his work, and that is the sad part about the whole thing.
We have lost an amazing actor like Sushant. Now people are talking about his untimely demise. Some people assume that it is a suicide and some people say that it is a murder. So which side do you stand on and why?
Well, I presume Sushant's death, which was an unnatural death, can be either ways. It can be an abetment to suicide situation as well as it could be a pre-planned murder. I'm very happy that CBI has got involved because a lot of people were probably covering up the investigation who had vested interest, and these people could belong to Mumbai police also because Mumbai police after all works under Maharashtra government, and Maharashtra government, because it wants its tenure to continue in Maharashtra because it's a coalition government, maybe not wanting the investigation to happen, freely, unbiasedly. Whatever be the reasons, I think that it could be either ways. His partner Rhea obviously is the one who is actively involved in his death because she has been the person who was the one point source of contact between Sushant and the world. So Rhea is obviously one person who needs to be punished. Whether it was just an abetment to suicide or whether somebody actually who knew about his mental condition and led to a pre-planned murder of his, that obviously a CBI investigation will reveal. But whatever said and done, I am just happy that a CBI has got involved.
And why do you think the government of Maharashtra would be involved in such a case?
Well, there are a lot of news. First, there were rumors and WhatsApp forwards about certain politicians and people from the Bollywood industry being involved in a party. As they were forwards and not information from verified sources, I decided to ignore it. But then I think the ruling party in the center, BJP's politicians are saying that there was a party on 13th of night night at Sushant Singh Rajput's house, and Aditya Thackeray, the son of Uddhav Thackeray, went there. Though Aditya Thackeray has denied his involvement, and even Suraj Pancholi, the guy who has been said to be involved in that party, has denied his involvement. So let the CBI investigate this matter and the truth come out. Whatever said and done, the way Mumbai police head Param Singh Dahiya was saying that the CCTV footage has been obtained by them, but then earlier the version was that there was no CCTV footage obtained on 13th and 14th of June. So somewhere there are contradictions in what the Mumbai police has been revealing to media, or media has been misinterpreting what Mumbai police has discovered. Earlier it was said that the body was found hanging by the sister, but then it came to be known that the sister never saw the body hanging. So there are a lot of discrepancies in the versions that have been let out by media to the general public regarding Sushant's death. So that's why I presume somebody is trying to cover up, but then I am not the court. So let the people who are, apt for this kind of investigation do the investigation.
And regarding Sushant's death, Rhea Chakraborty had released a video saying that she believes in the judiciary and she would get justice. And days later, there were news coming out that she left the apartment. What do you think about her involvement in Sushant's death?
See, I feel that Rhea is one person who needs to go behind bars. Rhea is obviously a very integral part in the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. That is why I have even voiced a video right now on my YouTube channel saying that Rhea needs to be punished, because she was the one who came in Sushant's life with a motive. She is not from a very well-to-do family, even though her father is a doctor. She looks and seems a desperate person after Sushant's money, because you are not even acknowledging your relationship with him, but you are obviously using his credit cards for every kind of expenditure of yours and your brother's, and we all can see the expenditure because bank details are made public. Secondly, you live with him. That's fine. You try to control him. And if your boyfriend is going through a difficult time, instead of encouraging him like any other girlfriend would do, you kind of take him to psychiatrists, not one, not two, maybe 3 psychiatrists. You make sure that he is on a drug like Q-tipin, which is a very dangerous drug, because its withdrawal can cause suicidal symptoms. Its administration can cause suicidal symptoms. And you do all this without acknowledging his family. Excuse me, he had 4 sisters. He had a father. You systematically, pull him away from his family, because there are WhatsApp chats of the brother-in-law of Sushant Singh Rajput and the Dahiya guy from Mumbai police, who was the police commissioner at that time in February. And he said that the family tried to get in touch with me. The family was worried. The family was anxious. The fault on family's part is that they did not give a written complaint, which I agree with the police officer. But the police officer should have understood that the family maybe did not want any negative publicity, because the media was as it is going against Sushant and everything that he did. And he should have at least acted in an informal way, not trying to threaten anybody, but just trying to show the presence of his in Sushant's life. That would have probably shooed Rhea and her stooges off, but he didn't do that, and we have lost Sushant. And Rhea, obviously the manipulator, the gold digger, needs to be punished, because I think even a prostitute has more ethics than what she has. A prostitute charges money and sleeps with you, but Rhea has actually administered drugs which have made him incapable of thinking, and she has done all this without taking the family in confidence, or without the consent of the family. She was not his wife. She was not even his public girlfriend. No girl, no girlfriend, no wife, no lover has the right to pull a man away from his family, using her sexual powers or whatever it is to kind of pull the boy away from the family. That is something which is uncalled for. Apart from there, who implanted Rhea in Sushant's life? That's a very important question. Was she employed by somebody? Who are the people behind her? Who is the gang behind her? Because she obviously seems to be having connections and soft corner with a lot of important people in Bollywood. She has close connections with Mahesh Bhatt, and she was seen going and interacting with Shibani Dandekar, who is the girlfriend of Farhan Akhtar, who apparently is doing Chanda Mama Door Se, the film that Sushant was supposed to do now, and was snatched away from him. So a lot of films were taken away from Sushant, whether it was Narayan Murthy's biopic or Chanda Mama Door Se. So for her to do all these things, I think she needs to be punished for that, and she needs to obviously serve whatever the law can do to her.
Yeah, is there solid evidence regarding the drug that she seemed to be given her?
Siddharth Pitani has accepted on a Times Now interview with Navika Kumar that he was administering Q-tip to Sushant Singh Rajput. It is his own words. I have heard it from my own ears. It is not a hearsay. It is not a media outlet report. It is an interview that I have seen. So if Siddharth Pitani was administering Q-tip in Sushant Singh Rajput as confessed by him, then he also needs to be interrogated by the police, because these medicines are not medicines off the counter that you just pick up and administer. He has taken the name of the psychiatrist called as Kersi Chawla, whom I know personally because there was a time when I visited him at the behest of Dibakar Banerjee, a director in Bollywood. And these psychiatrists and these so-called mental doctors actually in India don't qualify, or I presume don't follow any kind of client-doctor relationship. There is no ethical code of conduct. And such strong medicines, if prescribed to Sushant Singh Rajput and administered by Siddharth Pitani, then the family should have been kept in the loop. He could not be staying alone at the mercy of friends and staff. This is not right. This is inappropriate, and people involved in this need to be punished.
Now that CBI has taken up the case, do you think it will go in the right way and you'll get right things will come out?
Well, at least information will come out in a much more unbiased way, because now a lot of egos are involved, a lot of people are involved. It's a public thing with public taking keen interest in everyday update regarding Sushant's death. So at least more information will come out than what Mumbai police was revealing, because Mumbai police obviously went ahead and questioned a lot of powerful producers, directors, who are journalists, film critics, who were kind of involved in, kind of sabotaging Sushant Singh Rajput's career. But that was one part of it. Sushant was actively bullied by Bollywood mafia or Bollywood lobby. His films were taken away. He was obviously pushed to the wall, probably made to feel worthless, told by the so-called implant Rhea Chakraborty that he is depressed, he's suffering from some kind of mental disorder, taken to psychiatrist who put him on a very dangerous drug called as Q-tip, because Q-tip is something which should be avoided as much as possible. But if put on Q-tip, it is a very serious drug to be monitored regularly by medical practitioners. And then Rhea just dumping him on 8th or 9th of June when Disha Salien's murder news became public, and the media connecting Disha's death to Sushant Singh Rajput was like somebody actually planning and manipulating Sushant's death. So somebody was pulling strings, making that man go crazy, or somebody actually knew about his condition and executed him. So this needs to be probed.
You were talking about Bollywood lobby. So can you please elaborate?
Well, Bollywood lobby and Bollywood mafia, they are synonyms for each other, because Bollywood has been closely connected with underworld. There are a lot of inside politics and narratives being changed by these Bollywood lobbies and mafias who fund Bollywood films. The problem is that Bollywood wants to not support the investigation in Sushant Singh Rajput's death. That is very sad, because none of the big superstars ever voiced their concern about an independent investigation in Sushant Singh Rajput's death. Maybe whether it be an Amitabh Bachchan, whether it be a Salman Khan, whether it be a Shah Rukh Khan, whether it be a Akshay Kumar. Here I'm going across all superstars across religion, because none of them said that they wanted a CBI inquiry for Sushant Singh Rajput, knowing very well that there are facts on social media which are saying that the ligature mark on Sushant's neck was circular, not V-shaped. That happens due to strangulation, because the cause of death is asphyxia. But the cause of death asphyxia could be due to strangulation or due to hanging. But Mumbai police from day one has stuck to the hanging storyboard, even though they did not see the body hanging. That's what I've come to know. So somewhere the mainstream Bollywood did not want that investigation to happen, as if they were scared that the investigation might reveal something more, more kind of exposing their connections with underworld. So that is why I call them Bollywood mafia and Bollywood lobby, because here it's not about justice. It's just about protecting one's own interest and, furthering one's own career.
While you have been voicing out against nepotism in Bollywood, have you personally experienced it?
Nepotism is something that you live with it, whether it be politics or Bollywood, something new that has happened to you since you're born. But it's just that in Bollywood, nobody wanted to talk about nepotism before this whole debate was raked up by Kangana. So I think it's good that now people are talking, because Bollywood is an industry where every talent should get an equal opportunity. It should not be an industry where only a star son and a star daughter should get umpteen amounts of breaks. So nepotism, myself, I've been replaced from films, I've been dropped from films. I don't know if I was done that because a better star son or a star daughter had to get that project. But yes, I have had my shares of rejections, and I've had my shares of being dropped down from projects. But that's okay. That's the part and the parcel of the game. But we need to talk about it, because we need to prevent something like what happened to Sushant in future.
And I saw your Instagram profile where you had written about auditioning process in Bollywood. Getting selected and then being replaced just because big star's son or daughter wanted to play the role, that's a different thing. But you had written that you will never be allowed to audition. That happened. That was really surprising.
Yeah. That was in regards to a casting director from Yash Raj. Now that casting director's name is Shanu Sharma. I saw Shanu Sharma being questioned in respect to Sushant Singh Rajput's unnatural death, and that's when my memories came back. Shanu Sharma is a casting director from Yash Raj. She obviously gets paid. She's on a payroll. She is this manipulating woman who obviously has hordes of assistants who work with her for free of cost. But she has a reputation. She calls young male actors, presumably in the evening times, to, I don't know, have a discussion with them. But she meets actresses like me over a money transfer. Yes, she kind of asks money to meet her, because that's the way she works. And she charged me $5,000, I think 10, 12 years back, when I was trying to do a transition from small grade films to big budget films. And I wanted to work with Yash Raj because we all dream big. And I know Yash Raj casts heroines who are glamorous, and I have a glamorous appearance. So I wanted to meet her in regards to that. But she was such a difficult woman. She first of all refused to meet me. Then I said, no, I just want to meet you for, like, just show you my pictures and tell you that I am looking better in real life, because the work that I've done prior to this has not done justice to the way I look and everything. Then she tried to put me off by saying that I charge money to meet. I said, okay, fine. I have enough money to, pay you to meet me. But in spite of that, she never even called me for an audition. So that's really sad, because these people actually control all auditions of Yash Raj, and these people are having inside connections with other producers and directors. So they kind of send signals. If they don't want to work with somebody, they won't even call you for an audition, because I don't think an audition is something that you should prevent outsiders from having, because it doesn't cost you anything. But they obviously prevent people from even auditioning for projects, because they don't want to work with those projects and don't want to work with those outsiders. And that is what I call campism. So I was never even invited or called for an audition by Shanu Sharma, in spite of the fact that she charged $5,000 just to meet me and do time pass with me. And now I've heard that she does this with a lot of other outsiders. So that woman's hypocrisy needs to be called out.
And there were news coming out that Sushant was ignored by Bollywood. He was threatened regarding the opportunities that he would be getting in the future. So how true is that? And have you ever got to know about that?
See, Bollywood is a very selfish place. Bollywood is a place where people are just bothered about their career and their struggle, and they obviously act as if they're bothered about humanity. A Sonam Kapoor and a Kareena Kapoor will promote a rape in a Devi Sthan because they need to promote their film Veere De Wedding. So they do politics over the death of a 6-year-old, but they don't want to talk about on the death of their co-actor, that is Sushant Singh Rajput, because it does not serve their purpose, or they don't have a film in release. So that is their hypocrisy. Bollywood obviously has exposed themselves, but it's just that sometimes you get exposed so much that the whole India knows how fake it is. And that is the great part that has happened right now, because everybody has come to know across the globe how fake Bollywood is. It's not about who your superstar is. Amitabh Bachchan is made a superstar because of his work and because of the image that he carries. And Salman Khan is made a superstar because of his work and because of the image they carry. But if they are so inhuman people in real life, because if an Amitabh Bachchan can talk and make videos on COVID and promote a hospital and not talk about Sushant Singh Rajput. And Salman Khan can kind of do farming during COVID times, but not talk about Sushant Singh Rajput, shows that what kind of hypocrites they are. Even if Sushant Singh Rajput was pushed to commit suicide and it was an abetment to suicide, I think it was their moral duty to talk about a CBI inquiry, which they did not. That shows that they are inhuman people and the most hypocrite lot.
You're telling me that nobody from Bollywood is coming in support of Sushant, but you have been vehemently voicing out in this case. So what motivates you to do that?
I think my heart. It's just my conscience. If you see my videos also, it's just a thought. It's just a feeling. This is the way I am. I've always been like that way. Sushant's death, it was just that his death reminded me of my struggle, and his death reminded me of certain thoughts that maybe I might have had at one point in my career. And when I heard the psychiatrist's name, it just, blew off. My head blew off, and I was like, oh my God, this is not right. What happened to him was completely wrong. And I just went off. And once I went off, I think I just went off. I didn't care about the consequences. And then there's no going back, because you have to be responsible for your actions. And I stand by my actions. I stand by my videos, and I stand by whatever I have said about whoever I have said.
You just mentioned about the psychiatrist. Did you know the person?
Yes, I visited him twice or thrice. He has an office in Khar in Bandra. He charged me money to meet him. And he used to be sympathetic and listen to you for 1 hour. After that, he doesn't care whether you live or you die. So you have to get out of that vicious circle, because I came to know that Kersi Chabra was the batchmate of Mahesh Bhatt. So it's a very close-knit society, the Bollywood, and they try to obviously jeopardize the career of somebody they don't like. And there are various ways to do that. And one of the ways is to start labeling you as mad. People have systematically made Sushant Singh Rajput feel like a nobody from being a somebody. So everybody needs to be questioned, which obviously the Mumbai police did in the form of interrogation. But justice means to know the exact reason for Sushant Singh Rajput's unnatural death, whether it was abetment to suicide or whether it was a pre-planned murder. We need to know what was the truth. If any politicians were involved, if the superstars of Bollywood were involved in that so-called party, which everybody has been talking about, especially the BJP leaders, we need to know if that was the reason for his death or whether it was abetment to suicide. I think Sushant's death kind of triggered certain emotions in me. The information that I have shared about certain people, like the casting director and Salman Khan's calls to Sangram, they are all incidents which have happened. They are not make-believe stories, because I can vouch for them, and the people involved can file a defamation if they want, if they think I'm lying. And other information that I've shared is information which is there, which everybody knows about but is scared to talk about it. So I really don't care, because I believe that no human being can make or break me. It's all between me and my God. So I think that it's my duty to talk, and that's why I'm talking. And I have been talking on a lot of issues prior to Sushant's death. It's just that since his death, I have been concentrating on his issue, because I presume that the emails that I get and the facts that are being shared with me, it's my duty to kind of do justice to them.
Thank you so much, Ms. Payal. Let's hope Sushant gets justice.
Yes, let's hope. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you. Pleasure talking. Namaste. Thank you.
இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தா லைக் பண்ணுங்கள். இதே மாதிரி நிறைய வீடியோஸ் பண்ண தான் போகிறோம். உங்கள் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் ஃபேமிலிக்கு மறக்காமல் ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள். என்ன தோணுதோ கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்கள். 52 லட்சம் பேர் எங்கள் ஃபேமிலிக்கு சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ நீங்களும் மறக்காமல் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்கள்.
விவிடி, தமிழர்களின் பாரம்பரியமிக்க விவிடி ஹேர் ஆயில், நேச்சர்ஸ் கிஃப்ட். பொன்வண்டு 50 years of expertise in detergent. பொன்வண்டு மேட்டிக் டிடர்ஜென்ட் பவுடர்.